Hello and welcome to episode 124 question mark of No Load Time. My name is Jose Velez and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's up? No load time. Yeah, 124, dude. Last episode, like, it's weird. In retrospect, I was like, oh, yeah, that is episode 123. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
it was 123. You're right.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I was thinking it's like this is either 124 or 125. So
You just
I
keep
mean
making them.
dude, this week's been a blur with the public health crisis that is happening right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Joe, we were going to attend the Distant Worlds music from Final Fantasy concert that was going on in the area tomorrow night.
Yep.
Fortunately, that was canceled. I know that the CEO event that was going on this weekend as well, I believe, has been canceled. I know that today stuff was happening, but unfortunately, events in the area are canceled. No basketball, Joe. What the heck, man?
Yeah, you gotta be smart, gotta be safe. And many sports leagues, it seems like all of them are following in the same
Pretty
footsteps.
much.
So just gotta be safe.
Yeah, pretty much. Wash your hands. Don't be a soiled individual. Please
True.
take care of yourself and your hygiene. That's should be top priority at this point. But Joe, how you doing, man?
Yeah. Ooh, geez. Real tired, fatigued. I think there's a way. The best way to describe this, and I was talking to someone else about this, is like there's like a weightiness, man. Like things are just heavy with you could feel it with everything that's going on. I think it's the extra energy that's being pulled from just this thing being on the back of everyone's minds, and not just as a little thing, but literally we're talking about a deadly virus. And now I'm trying to hype it up, but it's just a reality that it is dark in some places. But of course, with all that being said, we still gotta have time to enjoy ourselves. I'm still gonna use this as time, jump on Disney Plus and watch the latest episode of Clone Wars. I know you did that already,
I
Obed.
did, yeah.
I have
Pretty
I
good.
have not. You said it's really good.
It's good. It's good. It's not gonna
Okay.
spoil it.
Okay.
Just watch it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably do that later.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I hope to get into Jedi Fallen Order since there's a strong possibility that I'll have a significant amount of time coming up to be able to actually invest that time into that game like I need to. Hoping to do that
Joe's
soon,
going
man.
into voluntary quarantine.
I would do that. I would do that.
You've
Why?
been
Why, Joel? Did you get in contact with anyone? No, I just volunteered myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I
Not
just
trying to
don't
make
want to see people.
not trying to make fun of people who really need to do it because it's a serious thing, but I would gladly do it, man, just to be safe from everyone else out there. Because man, this stuff goes around in ways that wow, like it
Yeah.
easily can spread, and it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, people have been making fun of gamers forever because they don't leave their houses
Yeah.
and they don't interact with people. This is exactly why we don't like to do it. Like we're like in my case, right? One, I have a family, so I need to find the means to support them. So I need to go out, right? I can't be here podcasting all day. I mean, I guess I could, but I'll have to start from scratch, and that's gonna be quite the rough time. But I have to go out there. If it were my choice, Joel, yeah, sure. I real life, graphics are great, but the gameplay, it's too hard, kind of overrated. Yeah, it's my opinion. But we're here. We're here. Yeah, like you mentioned, I watched that last episode of Clone Wars. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna go into details because I don't want to spoil it. Also, being watching Castlevania, I think I'm going to episode 8 or 9 coming up. So I think I only have like 2 episodes left. Very good. Uh, Slow burn because they're building up to something for sure, and but at the same time they have this sort of like mystery going on, and it's so well written, and so the voice acting is really good, so it's really keeping me engaged and I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've enjoyed the past 2 seasons, so season 1 being more like a pilot, season only being 3 episodes. Season 2 was fantastic, and this is very good too, but it's just been a low burn, but we'll see where it goes. Other than that, played some more Death Stranding over the past weekend. Very interesting stuff going on. Um, but a game's still very good. I still like it. So I'm hoping to be done with that game. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, man, because Resident Evil 3 is coming out, Final Fantasy is coming out, Persona Royals coming out. I'm still on the fence whether or not to get it because there's so much coming out. We mentioned Ghost of Tsushima last week,
Oh yeah.
so that to me is a big deal. But yeah, man, things are happening. I'm excited. So yeah, much not much else. It's been a like you mentioned a very busy week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we're ready to jump into the topics because
Oh yeah. There's a lot.
we got a lot to cover with this things happening. Uh, let's go ahead, Joel, and let's talk about the movie cancellations or not cancellations, but delays or postponements or whatever you want to call it, and then we'll go into the gaming ones. But everything's delayed. Bond. We
I,
talked about last week. We talked about Bond, right?
yeah.
That was the first casualty. But Joel, some big ones this week. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've got some big news here. Looks as if we're looking if we know that Mulan that was supposed to be coming out this month, that was supposed to be March 27th, if I'm not mistaken. That movie has been delayed. I think I mentioned it on the show. I know in person I've talked to you about it, but saying like that was one that I was for sure like, why has this not been announced yet? I know in China it was
Yep.
delayed, but we were supposed to still get it here in the States. To me, look, the reality is a $200 million budgeted film. It is one of the largest. It is the largest, if I'm not mistaken, female directed budget film. It was set to be a massive success. A lot of hype surrounding the film. So they got to make sure that it's a strong success and as many people as possible can see it. To get a good return on the investment, to get the exposure right. So to me, that was the one that was like a no brainer. I mean, no shock at all. I was actually more shocked than it was sooner announced. That No Time to Die was announced before that one was.
Yep.
But some other ones that we have that are not a shock is where you've got some. Yeah.
But for Mulan, is there a date for it or not yet?
No, they did
It's
not put a
TBD.
date. Yeah, TBD, which is interesting because a couple things are having TBD, but some of them do have actual dates, like No Time to Die being in November.
Yep.
Next one we have in April that's getting delayed is a movie that nobody cares about, and that's a movie by the, the name of New Mutants. So Obed, you talking to me about this for a while, and I've said it on the show. Like, look, that movie when it comes out, I'll believe it when I see it. People like, and I remember we're like, no, this is the one. It's gonna come out. Disney bought. Fox. This is gonna come out. They're just gonna put it out there. And I was like, I don't care. Disney bought. Like, they can afford to bite the bullet on this one. There's you know how much money they consistently lose from between marketing and all this
Yeah.
stuff by consistently pushing the date. There's no way to reshoot the film, according to a report I was reading
Oh,
today,
that's
that's
done. Yeah.
saying that not was done, but they just literally couldn't go back because of how aged the actors are from the first time they filmed it,
Yeah.
which shows it's been that
The
long,
movie
guys.
was filmed like 3 years ago, man. More
Oh
than that,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah, yeah. It's probably a little more than
Yeah.
that. Probably like
Yeah,
four
because
years
I
ago.
remember, as I remember that movie, X-Men Dark Phoenix came out last year, right? And that got delayed by a year.
Yeah.
And before that, that movie was delayed, like the production.
Yep.
So that movie was filmed back in like 2017, and New Mutants, I think, was ready before that.
I agree. I believe that
So
was the case.
holy crap. Yeah, that
It's
movie was probably filmed like 2016, man.
Yeah, it's been a
That's
long time.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and that one's like TBD as well, right? All of the Disney stuff is TBD. Um, but there's more.
Yeah, there is.
Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. The next big one I talk about is May, and that would be the Fast and Furious. Now that one's interesting because that does have a date, and that's all the way till April 2021, if I'm not
Almost a
mistaken.
year.
It literally. So
That's
that's
yeah.
that's a massive delay. Now, you and I have speculated that maybe the film really wasn't done being in post production anyway, so they kind of just took advantage of it, maybe to say, let's just go ahead and push it all the way to another year, spot where it makes more money, less competition. There wasn't that much competition from a summer blockbuster. This is the most of these are going to push to the big summer blockbusters. But if you realize, I'll talk about spaced out by months: March Mulan, April New Mutants, May being this film right here. But yo, but I don't know what you think about that one right there.
Yeah, that one's a big one. Just to go back to New Mutants, the filming began in uh, August 2017 for that movie.
Okay, so it's
So
3 years.
yeah, it's 3 years. Um, yeah. So Fast and the Furious is an interesting one because I mean it's still a little ways ahead where it's probably not going to take as much of a hit, and it's a movie that the thing with Fast and the Furious, right, is that Fast and the Furious movies are the equivalent to the Spider-Man movies for Sony, to Universal, and those are the movies that balance the budget on the studio budget, so they can't miss having full profits on these movies. These movies do really well overseas as well. They still do well domestically. I don't know. I mean, the hype has definitely uh, died down a little bit, but this one, having John Cena and a few others that people are care to see, may do pretty well domestically. But I know that overseas these movies do really good. Um, it's hard, man, because I mean, when you look at it, what's left for Universal? Kong, Godzilla versus Kong, that's probably gonna get delayed as well. I mean, that
I think
comes
it's
out
supposed to be December though, if I'm saying November,
I,
December, if
that
I'm
got
mistaken.
pushed from May to like November or something like
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
there's no promotional material shown for that movie yet. The only
Nope.
thing they could look at Universal's had that's their successor, and this is not like a crazy success at all, is an Invisible Man. That's been
Yeah, that was like a sleeper hit, kind
right,
of. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's
Because
not
it
supposed
was
to carry the weight of the box office for them at all.
absolutely not. No, no, no. Black Widow hasn't been moved yet. Um,
It's so tough that timeline.
yeah. So that's in the sandwiched in between that. Anything else that comes in May, I don't think anything out that comes out in June, July is gonna get delayed. But is there anything
Yeah.
else in May, Joel, that potentially could be moved?
Not that I'm aware of at this moment. Like I said, this is not a very competitive summer. Most things were spaced out pretty fairly. Each month, even June, you've got Wonder Woman. It's like literally like staples I can look at for each month. Some a little brighter than others, but still pretty well
Yeah.
spaced out. So like month by month, you're taking a hit. Is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, if anything, Wonder Woman's gonna benefit from all this because it's gonna be like the first big movie after
Yeah,
this whole crap's done.
yeah.
So a lot of
Hopefully,
people
yeah,
are more than likely wanting to go out and actually go out
yeah.
and sit down and watch a movie. So
Around the world, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I foresee that this could be definitely beneficial for Wonder Woman. Yeah, it sucks. It's unfortunate that all this crap's happening. I really wish we could have a more concrete answer on what this all is. I think, in my opinion, Joel, it's kind of a little bit of an of an overreaction, but I think it's just uh, well, unfortunately, politics. So let's not dive in too deep into that. But there's a couple of movies that I was looking forward to. Bond, of course, and
Oh yeah,
now by the time that Bond comes out, at least still comes out this year.
yeah.
Um, you know, they'll have time to figure something out. Hopefully that's gonna be it, and we don't get any other cancellations. I know that a lot of events are being canceled, and we'll talk about E3 here in a few moments. Well, let's go back to our buddies at Marvel, and they dropped the final trailer for Black Widow. Now, on the podcast before, I mentioned that I watched the trailer, and it looked fine, and it didn't move my needle. It's like, yeah, it looks fine. Am I like super excited to watch it? Not really. I'll watch it, but I can definitely wait it out. This trailer was really really good. So like, this was like the Winter Soldier of trailers for this movie. Like, if this movie is gonna be like what this trailer is portraying it to be, then I'm like more excited. to see it. Like this trailer did work for me. This was really good, and we did get a really good look of the Taskmaster, Joel. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that was the best part of to me of the whole trailer. I like that you get a little more of a story in this trailer, a little bit more of understanding of the scene that you're in, compared to the teases of stuff before. You can say that it's just past connections to the hit Black Widow's past, and now how it's going to affect the future and her connection to the Avengers and blah 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 blah. This trailer focused primarily on her being pulled into a mission that's in front of her, and of course the abilities of the Taskmaster, which to me is the strongest suit of the entire trailer. And that was one of the big things I talked about from last year's Comic-Con, was that, like, we saw basically the same trailer that we got for the very first trailer release, except that we got the full fight sequence between uh Black Widow and Yelena, and then we got a Taskmaster versus Black Widow fight sequence that no one else has seen. And to me, that was the money shots, the hype. So that's kind of how we feel now with this trailer. Now is like the money shots, the hype parts of this trailer is really the her and Taskmaster stuff that they show. I think they show a little bit too much of some action sequences personally in this trailer, and more sense of the gravity, because there's a couple of sequences you look at and you're like, could that be the end of the movie? Very strong possibility. Maybe it's very rare that now that those things are held out on. Disney is interesting about that at times. They do hold back some secrets, and I'm sure there will be plenty of really cool stuff that
Oh,
Marvel's
yeah.
got that they're holding back some punches on. That when you watch the film, you're like, oh wow, they brought that in there. I didn't see that. That's always the case with Marvel films, so I would expect nothing less here. With that being said, though, I love that for those of us are familiar with the Taskmaster, for the fans, seeing him replicate exact moves, replicate rather. Sorry if I can speak straight. Exact appearances and themes that you see from other heroes, Captain America, Black Panther, Black Widow herself. You know, that's pretty awesome because it's almost like she's fighting all of her Avengers by fighting the Taskmaster, who's probably at
Yeah.
some point fought the Avengers or watched them at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely studied them.
Yeah.
Joel, do you think this movie? Because I know that I was waiting for like a stinger, like a really cool stinger at
Yeah.
the end, and we got a really cool one. Like this whole family dynamic thing that they have going on was actually really cool. But I was waiting for something like one of the Avengers to pop in and say,
Yeah.
one liner, and boom, and it's like in theaters soon. You know, I was waiting for that. Um,
Yeah.
do you think this movie and just hear me out? Theory time. It's theory time and Nolo time. We know, and also spoilers for Endgame. We know that she died in order for Hawkeye to get the Soul Stone. Now, would it be possible that Cap, that you go back in the past, that you don't really change the past, you alter your own present basically based on what they did on Endgame. Um, is it possible that Cap shows up at the end of the movie as like, hey, um, you gotta come back with me to like a certain spot in time. That way, you're not dead anymore. So, because I know that I'm pretty sure that Marvel still has plans for Black Widow. So
I could see them teasing her Captain America, like, being in her present and just seeing how
okay,
people respond to the movie. Uh, it'd be cool if they do re-up her for her contract to bring her back for something else. That would be pretty cool. And especially, considering that it's like, okay, the way Iron Man died, like, okay, that had to happen that way. It makes sense. But the way she went out, it was important for that story. But I don't think it's like you have to forever be dead kind of situation. I
yeah,
agree. However, they did really make that a strong point of Endgame. Like, some important Avengers will die, and two very important Avengers did die in that movie. Spoilers, guys.
yeah,
Uh, you know, looking at the way Hulk said, when I snapped, I really tried to bring her back.
hmm,
To me, they would undo that entire scene if they do bring her back. But am I opposed to it? No. But I see your point, Obed. I like the speculation that they. I think if anything, the biggest cameo will be Robert Downey Jr. one last time. on the screen
Okay.
for in that role.
All right. That's interesting. We'll see. And speaking of Marvel and delays, Joe, we didn't add this to the pile, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, unfortunately, also a casualty of production halt. I was actually when I came home, a few minutes after I came home, my wife was watching Entertainment Tonight,
Okay.
and they were saying that Disney basically halted all of their live action
Yes.
productions right now, and Netflix and WB are halting production, but only U.S. and Canada right now. Um, yeah. So casualty. I know we already know that that the One Division's sort of pretty much done. Like they're done
Right.
filming. There was one more thing that wrapped up recently, Joe. I can't remember what it was. It was another big thing that we were waiting for. Um,
Uh,
and they
not
said that production had wrapped up. Oh man, if I remember, I'll bring it back. But dude, I can't remember if it was like a Marvel property or something that they've already said is like, oh yeah, production wrapped up for this thing that's coming out soon. So yeah,
yeah,
well, we'll see.
yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate because it seemed like they were really far along in that entire production, and having the news of the Obi-Wan delay, not because of coronavirus, like that was pretty bad. Um, but having this one actually be delayed, like this is just this is purely like something that we were again looking forward to, and little by little, this thing, man, is affecting. It's affecting people's lives, affecting people's entertainment. It affects so much, and I know it seems selfish, that we would want all this, but it is unfortunate because it's also people's jobs and people, production working on this thing. They were in Prague.
Yeah,
They had interestingly before had a prior held back because of the earthquake in Puerto Rico.
yeah, yeah. That had already gotten
Helped
hit.
them out.
Yeah, yep. It was Mando. Oh, that
Oh
man, yeah,
yeah,
that Mando's done. Yeah, season
yeah.
two. So at least that's not gonna get delayed. So we're and that was
So
like they wrapped like last week. So yeah, so that's not bad. Like now they're going into pre and into post basically, and it's gonna come out. But it sucks, man. It's like all those things and Disney parks and
I know,
Disney
yeah, the Disney
worlds.
parks, yeah.
Disney, yeah, it's a little bit out of control. Hopefully we can get a grip of ourselves and stop stealing people's toilet paper, because you will not get explosive diarrhea out of this thing. So, you,
That is true.
yeah, you better take care of your. Yeah, again, guys, be clean, be clean.
Be
Moving
clean.
on, Joel, to our buddies out over at Lucasfilm and all of the revelations that they have been putting out there based on the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker. And they answered the question that we were asking ourselves. It's like, did Palpatine get busy while he was the Supreme Chancellor? And the answer was no. So we found out that not only Palpatine himself, as he appeared in The Rise of Skywalker, was a clone, which I know I saw a bunch of man babies having a meltdown over it, but it is alluded in the movie already when the this dude the Hobbit I forgot his name. When he said it's like, oh, how did he come back? Did he is it cloning and like ancient magic or dark magic or whatever?
Yeah.
It is alluded to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is not confirmed, but it is alluded. But it is confirmed that Palpatine's son is actually a clone. And let me get this straight: the clone was just left to be himself. Was not or this wasn't a clone that it was like defective and they just put to the side. My understanding is that it was a clone that they just let him be and let him do his own stuff. Is that correct, Joe?
Yeah, he was innately supposed to join the dark side based on his DNA. And that's the same the novelization and being canon is supposed to also describe basically the same way the expectation for Ray being that her being on her own, her being this seed from her family, that she would innately turn dark because that's just in their nature. That's just in their side of the family. So the same thing was expected for the son as a clone. And when it happened with the father, and then now with Ray, with her decision, spoilers, guys, Rise of Skywalker is coming out. It's one of those things like it's supposed to give more gravity to the point of like the force has its way, and the dark side doesn't always have to overpower the light. The light can also take on any life form, that it attracts. So yeah, it's a very powerful part of the story, I believe, just simply showing that it's like he chose to go the path of the light when he was raised and with an expectation to turn dark.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean,
But the
it's
man
bet
babies,
it's bet. Oh my goodness, Joe! I have to stop watching because I've been watching. You know, I like to get see different opinions and what the people think. But if you're going to present an opinion, uh, you know, present it in a way that hey, you know what, I don't agree with this because this overrides something that happened in like re- Return of the Jedi or whatever, right? The retconning is like I don't agree with this because this retcons this other thing, right? But when they start on a meltdown, I was like disastrous thing, and nah, I'm done. I there's only so much that I can watch,
it's pure
and
hatred. There's not an actual
yeah,
valid like.
yeah. At this point, it's clickbait.
Yeah,
Most of the stuff that's out there really like trashing Star Wars because there's no disaster, there's no fire, there's no thing. Yeah, there's again there are clear problems with
I agree.
Kathleen Kennedy and some of the decisions that have
I
been
agree.
made in the past 3 years since Solo got announced basically. But we're not gonna go in and say it's like, oh, this is a disaster, dumpster fire, everything's broken. And it's like, oh, and the new CEO trashed uh the Ron Johnson. I was like, no, we didn't. Like, no, these things are not happening, people. So there's a lot of clickbait out there. You watch at your own risk.
Yeah.
This week, like this past few weeks, like I was watching back when Rise of Skywalker came out, but this novelization like seemed to put a bunch of people like overboard, and I'm like, I'm done. I ain't nobody got time for that. So I will spend my time in a more constructive manner, uh,
Exactly.
versus all the man baby stuff that's happening right now. Joe, let's go ahead and take a break, and we will be back with gaming news. And we are back. Joel, as we mentioned before, there's been some gaming cancellations, and the biggest one is that E3 2020, as we predicted last week, is not happening. So the ESA released an official statement this week saying that it's cancel that they're canceling the event due to the public health crisis that's happening right now, and that they are going to take the time and prep for basically a revamped event next year. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Comes on the heels that last a week or like 2 weeks ago. Um, the creatives, there's the I am 8-bit. Basically, it's a creative uh, that's out there. They were hired by the ESA to come up with a new plan for E3. They decided to leave, and then this whole thing happened. So everything sort of uh, fell into place for the ESA to be able to pull the plug on E3 this year. Again, this is a June event. From here until June, things could be very, very different.
Right.
But with all of that, they went ahead and pulled the plug. I mean, I think the biggest thing here also, Joel, there's a lot of companies were not going to be participating. There's been rumors that a lot of companies were not going to go, not going to assist because of, against health concerns. But at the same time, the ESA had the opportunity to still have the show and have the show happening. Of course, we had Jeff Keighley a few weeks ago announcing that he's no longer going to be uh, doing his show out of E3. I think that this was the right choice for the ESA and them kind of trying to reboot this thing and make it more relevant because unfortunately the last few years, yeah, there's been a couple of things here and there that's been hype, but there really hasn't been anything to really move us as gamers. I mean, there's been exciting announcements, but nothing like the 2013 to 2016 E3s, which were fantastic. It's definitely lost a bit of its luster. Um, yeah, man. I know that Xbox said it's like they're going to engage uh their fan base on a with a digital event. Nintendo said that they're working on putting the communications out and still engage their fans. Nintendo really has nothing to worry about. They were the first ones to really not do an event at E3, but they still had a presence on the show floor. At the same time, Nintendo can engage fans at Best Buys and other places. They've done so in the past, so it's something that they can probably do. Xbox, they can just still focus on just keeping their fan base digitally, online. So does PlayStation, which we know doesn't attend E3 anymore. So yeah, big. It's big. I mean, it's a huge loss because it's something that we, even if there's like no hype behind it,
You look
it's
forward
something
to.
that we look forward to.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, it's like the Super Bowl when like you the two teams that are playing on the Super Bowl are you're not really interested in, but you still watch it, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's a good
that's sort
example.
that's sort of been E3 the last couple of years. So, I mean, it's fine. They'll be back next year. Hopefully, they can figure it out because they do need to um, engage the audience in a more I'd say profound way. People like to go out, people like to hang out and go to these events, but for some reason, it seems like the ESA hasn't found that sort of like PAX Comic Con sort of groove to it. So hopefully, we can find it next year. But yeah, man, what do you think?
Oh, this is definitely an opportunity for them to like this was the right opportunity for them to cancel the event. And that's just your point when you started off with talking about in June, the event being in June, which is past when most people are planning any kind of cancellations at the moment for things, generally speaking. Most people are looking at things to be canceled April, some things May. Um, most things in March are completely shut down for the most part. So June being that time we just talked about with Wonder Woman being that time where people maybe are excited to get back out there, assuming that things go back to normal around that time. Like this would have been an event that probably would have had people interested. So what this says to me is like, yes, this is they're trying to be safe. I'm not trying to say their intentions are wrong by any means. I think they want to do the right thing by people. But I think this provided the perfect opportunity for them to cancel an event that already didn't have much legs to it this year, that they may have been already struggling with behind the scenes. That by appearance, it seems that way at the least. So it gives them plenty of time now, a whole new another year to look forward to the future. Because look, an event like this, it's straight up canceled, is not postponed, right? Like WonderCon, we didn't talk about it there, but WonderCon has been postponed. So
Mm.
WonderCon was supposed to be something that happened April. and that's being postponed. Will probably happen in like June, maybe is what they're saying, potentially or something like that, right? Like this event's not being postponed; it's being canceled. But to understand the kind of event that this is, you can't really postpone an event like this. Real, I mean, you can, but you can't because by the time that the event
The
could be
scale, yeah.
scheduled, you're talking things have to be for marketing reasons have to already be revealed. So most of the energy's already been sucked kind of out of it because things that you it's obvious if this is supposed to be at E3 instead I saw this on YouTube, whatever. So there's just too much moving pieces to make this postponed. It had to be canceled. But I do believe it's beneficial. You and I both said that last episode the right thing to do would be to cancel it, unless there's some other discussions that they were having, assuming that life as we know it was going to go back to normal. Although right now we just don't know. So yeah, perfect opportunity. Just makes sense for them to make this cancellation.
Yeah.
It is like the Super Bowl, man. I did look forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that you look forward to, even if you're not, if even if you're like interested from like the outside.
Like the Warner's
So
Warner's was supposed to have some type of presentation
I was
their
gonna mention that,
Batman
yeah.
game. Yeah,
Yeah, so the one fallout that we know of is that Warner had an actual event planned for this year, and they were gonna reveal the new Batman game and the Harry Potter RPG. And the rumor is that the Batman game was gonna be revealed as a PS5 game.
yeah,
So it's unfortunate. I mean, Warner said that they were planning on engaging the audience in a different way. So we'll probably hear something from Warner around that time. More than likely, they'll have a showcase. They have the resources to just put their own like small showcase and stream it. I think that's probably going to be even better for them. Announce it a couple weeks. It's like, hey guys, this date we're gonna have now Warner announcements for gaming, and then they
invite the
can just do it.
press.
Yeah, that way they can just engage the
Because
audience. Yeah,
that's what's made E3 the biggest opportunity, right? It gets a lot exposure to regular people, but it also E3 hosts all the press being there already, so these companies don't have to bring together the exposure. They just show up, and then the exposure is there. So yeah, it will be a smaller scale, but it probably will still happen.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. I know that I'm still looking forward to whatever Microsoft is going to do for the Series X, and I know that the other companies we're gonna get trailers. Like
Yeah.
Activision just put out that Call of Duty Battlezone or whatever it's called. Um, uh, I was gonna say Fortnite game. The Battle Royale, the Fortnite like. Oh, whew, whew, sounds awful. So yeah, they put out that game this week. It's free to play, and yeah, I mean it's stuff's happening, but they don't necessarily need E3. So hopefully they can get to a state that better engages the audience next year. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Joe, GameStop, we've talked about it for a while. How they're really not doing that great, and we've known now for a couple of years that the struggles have been pretty substantial for the company. I know that this bit of news for some people was like, "Oh, this is like super crazy stuff happening," but GameStop announced this week that there was a reshuffle on their board of directors, and Reggie Fils-Aimé, formerly the president of Nintendo of America, will be joining the board of directors. This is great because Reggie knows video games. This is, they don't have. You can have people in a board directors that really don't understand the business. Reggie does, and it's good to have him in the board of directors. That being said, being on the board of directors does not equal CEO, right? And
Yep.
I think that's what a lot of people are confusing. Um, you know, George Sherman still CEO of GameStop. Reggie is going to be the board of directors. So in essence, the CEO will report to the board of directors, but the input that the board of directors have towards the business is in some cases limited. In this case, I think Reggie has an opportunity to bring more to the table, and that's a good thing. But you know, I think that GameStop's days are numbered, and if the consoles get delayed because of all that's happening, I don't see them lasting the year. Maybe they'll last through the next holiday season, and that'll be it. Um, I feel, Joel, that the consoles are gonna get delayed. At least PS5 is gonna get delayed. Um, Microsoft may just go ahead and pull the trigger and build the Xboxes in Puerto Rico or something and just sell them. you know, I think the PS5 is gonna get delayed. That's nah, I don't want to say it's a prediction, but it's a hunch. I have a hunch that this probably is probably gonna be like a March 2021 thing right now.
I think that's very
Uh,
fair.
yeah, I'm hoping that they're able to actually do it this year, but I'm hoping that at the same time it's like, man, this year is already, a lot of stuff's happening. It would be great for them to release it this year, but at the same time, if they're not going to have the supply, if the games are not going to be ready, they might as well just wait till next year.
And they can release the two versions if that rumor is true. If they delay it, I think easier.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier for them to be able to do that too. Yeah. Because I know that Microsoft's going to do that
Yeah,
one, so they can just go ahead and let Microsoft release this year, and then they can, they're in a position where they can wait a couple months. They don't have to release date and date. The last time, just going back to the launch of the PS4 at the Xbox One, that was the first time that that the two competitors actually came out around the same time. It's usually been a few months apart or a year apart or something like that. If you go back to the PS2 when the original Xbox came out, it was a year and a half later that the Xbox came out. GameCube came out a year later after the PS2.
yeah,
And then you go to PS3, which came out a year after the 360. But the Wii did come out I think 3 weeks after the PS2 3 came out. So, you know, it's all that. But I think Reggie is a great guy. I think he's a great fit, and hopefully he can actually do some good at GameStop. But yeah, man. Overall, how do you feel about that?
yeah. I think that Reggie being there is such a great move by GameStop. They really need to bring life back into that franchise. They know it. They have made some attempts. There's some things that we have yet to see, some ideas that have supposedly been tested, etc., etc. But by adding Reggie, I mean that this is just the right guy, is the right person to bring in. Now, to your point, Obed, this he has Reggie now has a seat at the table, but he is not the table himself. He's surrounded by other voices, and he's not the actual the voice that's leading the company. He's a voice to the company. So if they heed his words, if they really, give him a strong voice at that table, they respect that. We'll see a lot of Reggie influences, but don't blame it. Oh wow, Reggie's not doing that good. If they start to struggle, and don't say necessarily that Reggie's doing that great. If they start to do really well, I think he's there, but he's not the person. It's going to be GameStop at the end of the day that really operates the way that they want to do things. Hopefully they heed his advice, and hopefully it goes right. But yeah, I mean he's the right guy to bring in. He knows the industry. He knows how to release a successful console. He knows how to take a disappointment from one season and reinvigorate it now again. I mean, you're talking about from Wii U to Nintendo Switch. I mean, this guy knows how to turn things around in the right way and really just see instant results. So, Reggie, it's great to have him there. I think that it's the right move for GameStop to make. I'm hopeful that we see some really strong implications of this change. That's not just a headline,
Yeah,
that's just a feel good, but some real strong implications.
yeah, yeah, for sure. We shall see what happens with GameStop, dude. Because yeah, like I mentioned last time I went, it's
Yeah.
uh, it's a bit depressing. But I'm gonna see. You know what? This weekend I'm gonna try and go to GameStop and see what's going on. So
Interesting.
I'll give you an update next week.
Coming soon.
We'll see. Coming soon. Joel, also coming soon. It is a brand new interactive Super Mario Maker, or not Super Mario Maker, but Super Mario Lego. It is a Super Mario Maker, I guess.
Kinda.
Yeah.
You're building, yeah.
Um, and it's something that's Lego. It's something really different for Lego because it seems that it all works with NFC, and there's electronics involved. There's this Mario figure that has little eyes and mouth that move and make sounds, and you can interact with the I guess the play field that or the stage that you build with the Lego. It looks really good, man. I think this is probably gonna be the toy of 2020.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so cute. It's so sweet, this little thing. What a nice announcement on Mario Day. Man, dude, it's a beautiful the beautiful piece of technology. I mean, like you put something that the kids can enjoy. I think you mentioned it, maybe getting it for your kid, I think many people are looking at this like you're saying, it's a
Yeah,
gift for their kids, the toy of the year potential kind of stuff. But the adults, people like myself that are kids at heart, I would get this thing. So it's a very smart release and a really cool one. If you guys haven't checked it out, please go ahead and check it out. There's a really
yeah.
cute little video that they had that was released on Mario Day. Man, I think this is great.
I think I may just get it early for my daughter for Christmas because I know that if you're gonna shop for this thing around Christmas,
Oh, it's gonna
you're not
sell
gonna find it
crazy. Yeah.
because it's I think it's gonna be expensive, but depending on the price, I may just go ahead and secure that. I showed her the trailer when it came out, and she made me watch it like 4 times because she
Oh,
loved it. It's like, oh my god, this is like crazy. Yeah, she really
oh,
really liked it. So um, it's getting really good reactions from everyone out there. I talked to a couple of coworkers that have kids, and I was like, oh yeah, man, it looks really cool.
yeah.
It's like gonna be like a hot toy this year.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
so yeah, pretty cool. They like I said, they haven't announced a date or pricing. My guess is that this thing's gonna be probably around $80. That seems to be uh, a reasonable price considering like Lego already are pretty expensive. Like if you go and buy like a full size X Wing set, it's like $80. The
Yeah,
Falcon's like 140. So
I have that one.
the X Wing,
I have the Millennium Falcon.
the Falcon,
Yeah,
did
man.
you build it?
No, and
Ah,
I may have time. We'll see.
you may have
I
time to
may have
build
time.
it.
We shall see.
Okay, I want to see that Falcon in the background, Joe.
Yeah, I
Pretty
want to
pretty
get a
sweet.
stand for it.
Yeah. Joe, we also got confirmation. This has been rumored for a while now, but we finally get confirmation that Horizon Zero Dawn is indeed coming to PC this summer. Horizon Zero Dawn being a PlayStation exclusive game that came out back in 2017. Absolutely fantastic game. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it.
Yeah, I really want to.
It's really, really good. It's like super cheap. Like they put it on PSN sales for like
20 bucks.
they have like $15
Oh
for
wow.
like the complete edition. So it's you can get it for super super cheap. A very very good game. And yeah, basically Guerrilla Games confirmed that the game's going on PC and that Sony is publishing it on the PC.
Wow.
So looks like Sony is looking to be uh diversifying a little bit. That's good. They did have an interview with Herman Holst, and he said that not all of the PlayStation games are coming to PC. Is going to be some select games that they're going to uh try and go ahead and put out. Of course, Death Stranding's going on PC this summer as well. That got announced last week. But Sony's not publishing that. Sony published Death Stranding on PS4, but 505 Games, I think, is going to be the publisher for the PC version. But yeah, I think this is great. because more people should play Horizon Zero Dawn because it's a freaking fantastic game. So yeah, man, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree, right? When you have something that's just that quality of content, who would be angry about it being exposed on other platforms, right? I understand that some people that are the PlayStation, army, right? And you and I both have a console of choice, right? But even these people at the PlayStation Army and whatnot that be like, they're getting their pride take a hit, maybe like,
Uh,
oh, this was supposed to be ours, like we don't want to share. Like that's not right, right? And I think what you should take pride in is that it wasn't exclusive for a significant amount of time. It's not like we're talking about like, hey, 3 months this thing was out. That's like, oh, exclusive really turned into something that you just had maybe an early preview to. It almost feels like no, you had a significant amount of time that was exclusive, and it it's looked upon as not just a really good game. It's looked upon as an incredible game, one of the best of the last couple years here. So yeah, I mean, no upset, no anger towards this. Just makes complete sense.
yeah, yeah, it just makes sense. I don't know. I mean, at this point, like PlayStation fanboys are behaving like Star Wars man babies. It's
Yeah, you can't
kind
be
of
that. Come
sucks.
on.
And I mean, it we haven't talked about the Xbox guys in a while because there's like really nothing to talk about.
Right.
There's
It's that's
nothing to
all.
talk about.
That's just
Yeah,
the way it is, man. When
yeah,
we have
yeah.
something, we have something.
Like the Xbox fanboys have been quiet because there's like really nothing to talk about. They're just looking forward to the Series X. But there was plenty of apologists out there when the Xbox One basically like kind of flopped and had no games for forever,
Yeah.
and then Crackdown 3 came out and everyone forgot about it. I forgot about it until I actually forgot that game came out until this week, where I was watching some random Facebook videos and I was like, oh, games that came out last year that you probably forgot about. And Crackdown 3 was there. So uh yeah, I'm good. The more the merrier, as they say. PC gamers, they do act all snobby every once in a while, but they put the money where their mouth is, and they spend uh, uh pretty good money on having their rigs run pretty much everything on 4K 120 FPS. And you might as well enjoy games that will take advantage of that instead of
Right.
playing
Right.
like little sprite indie games. Not to say that sprite indie games suck, but why spend thousands of dollars on a gaming rig if you're gonna play some pixel based indie game? You might as well just take advantage of that hardware and make it happen. So yeah,
I
man.
agree.
Yeah. The last bit of news that I have here, Joel, is a rumor that you can take with a piece of rock salt. Um, yes. So my favorite topic, saltiness. Anywho, um,
Oh
there is
man.
a very convincing rumor that Hideo Kojima is somehow working with Konami, as crazy as it may sound, to actually finish Silent Hills for PS5. So the rumor here is that Sony uh, basically served as a I guess I can't find the word, dude. As a middleman, I guess, um between Konami and Hideo Kojima, and that they will be working together in basically finishing what was Silent Hills back when PT was coming out. Uh, Norman Reedus was out there saying that he is actually going to be working on a new project with Kojima, and this is where all started like coming in together. And then a couple of days later, this came out saying, "Yo, there's stuff moving, there's stuff happening. Apparently, this thing is gonna be you know, basically like Silent Hill is gonna be um rebooted, and it's coming out on PS5, and people are on board. So yeah, I mean, if you never got a chance to play PT, I never got a chance to play it, but I've seen plenty of gameplay videos. It's a spooky experience. So considering how good Death Stranding is, with basically limited resources, being the first time being on the, Kojima Productions being on their own, uh, and them having to bring in, people back from Konami to help out, and Norman Reedus being involved, and Sony, I guess, being part of the development. I'm kind of excited. This is gonna be like a weird, spooky thing, and it may be cool. And I'm on board if this happens, and it would be good to see, a reconciliation of sorts between Kojima and Konami. Of course, there's been like rumors that the game that Blue Point is working on for PS5 is a remake of Metal Gear Solid. That could be part of what's bringing everything together, but at this point we don't know. We will see. I guess we'll find out about the Blue Point title, somewhere in the near some time in the near future when PS5 gets announced. But yeah, man, what do you think?
Yeah, that's where my mind was at, right? PS5, this is could easily be a next gen game that really is different, and another one that that Kojima's trying to put his efforts forward for a strong launch of the next gen. Yeah, this guy does what he wants, man. Like, I mean, you're talking about a guy that he starts on the project, well, situations unfold, goes and makes this Death Stranding game that, Obed, you've said that it's a good game. It's really creative. It's different. And now he can come back and do another creative project again, Fish Out Silent Hill. That, you know, there's not enough of us. We don't know enough about it to say, oh my goodness, this was going to be some amazing game. But I trust this guy's work, and I would definitely put a lot of interest and attention towards it. I do think that, he can definitely get a good horror down. If I'm not mistaken, Del Toro also supposed to do the story with him for the game. So yeah, I mean, there's some really good people involved on this thing from right the inception of it. So I would be putting my eyes and ears on everything that's talked about regarding this story as it develops.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely see. It's going to be interesting. Going back to Death Stranding, um, I still can't put that game in a specific genre, Joe, because it has horror elements, but it's not really a horror game. I guess it is a sci-fi. It, it definitely is a sci-fi game, but it's not an action game. It's not a shooter. It's not. There's it's a game that's basically does many things, and some people hated that. I actually enjoy how diverse the game is and how different it is from anything else that I've ever played before. So that's kept me really engaged. But going back to Silent Hills, if Kojima actually goes ahead and finishes, this project was supposed to be, I guess, pretty far along um when 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 it got canceled. So if they can, assuming they already have a story, they already have art made for the game, and all this stuff, basically just getting the project and finishing it.
Right.
We can probably expect this to, if this is true, to probably happen within the next 2 years, 3 years, maybe. We'll probably, if it's true, we'll hear something about it within the next year. Um, but we'll see, man.
Not at E3.
Nah, no, not a re3 for sure. And we'll keep you guys posted. We'll definitely keep you guys posted whenever new uh, occurrences happen with E3 or any other events during the year that may uh, actually not get canceled. So
We'll see.
that's all we got for now, Joe. If you don't have anything else, man, just go ahead and plug us in and let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you again for watching, listening to the show. Make sure to stay subscribed. We're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Also want to encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube version on our video version on YouTube, rather. Also want to encourage you guys to follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, feel free to send in any comments, questions, feedback to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Noah, your missed brother, uh, his friends, family that watch this, you guys know. But yeah, until next time, guys, we'll see you on the show.
Yeah. See you guys. Thank you again. And hopefully we'll see you again next week.